Mm-hmm.
And like there is within each of us the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine.
Mm-hmm.
We have both inside of us.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we need to support. Women can be strong and soft, and so can men.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we support it? And that's why aromatherapy is beautiful, because it's a holistic practice. We're working with these concentrated chemicals to support holistically the mind, body, spirit.
Mm-hmm. I'm Rachel, and you're listening to the Owning Your Sexual Self podcast. Hey, real quick. Are you a woman that is looking to connect with yourself, embrace your power, and reclaim your truth? If the answer is yes, then I have the perfect experience for you. If you haven't yet heard, I am hosting my first ever women's retreat in Tampa, Florida in October this year. October 12th through the 15th. You can join me in the beautiful Tampa area. Really great, especially if you're a Michigander, to get away from this winter weather and enjoy some sunshine. And this is specifically for those that are wanting to really honor your journey, embrace your uniqueness, and help you reclaim your confidence. The HER in the HER retreat stands for honor, embrace, and reclaim. And that's what we're doing. Our retreat is going to be a safe space for women to really come together, get that in-person camaraderie with each other, that womanhood, that sisterhood, share your stories, and grow in a supportive community. This is going to be a sensual girls weekend. I have so many fun, juicy activities planned for us. You are going to learn more about your sensuality, and you're going to feel safe and supported to be able to connect deeper with your woman within and really let her unleash on this weekend and thereafter. So whether you're seeking something that is for healing, personal growth, or simply just break from your everyday routine, the HER retreat has literally something for everyone. So take this as an opportunity to really prioritize your self-care and invest in your own well-being. So don't miss out. We have just a few spots left for this retreat. So you can visit the link in the bio of this show notes. If you follow me on Instagram, you can go to my link in bio there. You could DM me if you want the link, or if you have any other questions. I'd also love to set up a Zoom consultation with you to see if there's any other questions that I can go over with you, or any other answers that I can provide to you to make this experience and this offer a fuck yes for you. So check out those links. I would love, love, love to have you there with me. And again, any questions that you have, please reach out. So continue enjoying this show. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And I hope to see you in Tampa. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Owning Your Sexual Self. I am very excited. I received an email a few weeks ago from somebody that is working with Amy, who's our guest today. And they said, hey, we have this guest that we think would be amazing on your podcast. She talks about essential oils and how that can incorporate into your sensuality and your sexuality. And I said, hell yes, bring her on the show. I love essential oils, and I'm early in my stages of learning about essential oils too. I guess I'm a little bit above average. I will categorize myself. But it's something that I talk with clients on, being able to bring these into their space to help sex up their space. And as you said, bring sensuality into the space. So thank you, Amy, so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Rachel. This is always a pleasure to share the benefits of the oils.
Yes, absolutely. And in reading through your backstory a little bit, we have something that's similar, it sounds, is that we left the whole corporate America type of world to pursue a passion and something that fulfilled us entirely. And so that kind of led you to who you are today. Can you share like that story and what that was like?
Of course, I'd love to, because as I've learned, the more we talk and share, the more other people might say, oh, I have a similar feeling, or that resonates with me. Mm-hmm. So the long and short is really that I grew up in the Hudson Valley of New York, but that's of no consequence. My mom was a gardener. Her mother was a gardener. I think like a lot of people, we're from Michigan, by the way.
Oh,
There's a lineage of farmers in the family. And I grew up weeding. It was like family time, growing plants, being outside, playing in the wetlands with the skunk cabbage and the milkweed. And it was just a part of my growing up. And when I was a teenager, I was that quote odd kid that was in love with plants and was planning their own herb garden. That's what I would do instead of hanging out with people all the time. And it was just, I needed it. And then we moved to Western New York. I was a miserable teenager. And I was like, I must get back to the East Coast. And it's like, I'm going to go to New York City because I want to eat culture too. Art is super important to me. I was just at MoMA yesterday at the Museum of Modern Art. And when I moved back to the East Coast to New York City to go to school, I was in college, got to get the job, got to do that. I always needed plants. I always found a way to go to gardens, get my hands in some way. Fast forward, I had a great career in market research, but I was always feeling lack. I'm like, why the F am I here looking at this big building in downtown New York? And my spouse is very supportive, a gorgeous human being. I'm like, I need to quit. He's like, okay. So the crux is that I needed nature. I didn't really have it here, and the oils found me. So oils came on my radar probably 2008, 2009. I couldn't even tell you exactly. I think it was eucalyptus in my humidifier.
mm,
Oh, antibacterial, great.
yeah.
And then 2012 was around the time I quit my job, the job, and that's the time I took my first essential oil workshop. And
Mm,
it was from there that I was just like, what are these? I must be by these. I must learn more. Suddenly, a year later, I must become certified. Then suddenly a school opened 3 blocks from my apartment that
wow.
offered in-person certification. So the universe is like, Amy, can I swear?
Oh, please do.
Yeah. Amy, like, wake the fuck up. The universe is knocking on your door. Then I earned 2 certifications. I was asked to teach certification. So I became
Wow.
certified to become a teacher. So suddenly I had my own business on top of being an educator at the school that I learned at. So I went on and on there, but it was really like plants and I need each other. And that's the way I connect with nature and with other people.
Mm. I I mean, what an incredible story. So, I mean, really from the little version of you, you were essentially destined, essentially, essential oils. That was not intended. But you were really destined to do this, and I just tell by the way that you're speaking, like this is something that lights you up and you are living in your purpose 100%. That's amazing to see.
Yes, yeah, and I've had a lot of great support and great teachers, and yes, I am grateful and yay. So I'm here to share, and I'm so excited about it. I'm often told I'm passionate, so I want to share that.
Yes, and I'm excited to explore more around the like sensuality focus, as we said, because so in my journey with essential oils, how it was all I think started with me really was just based on the smells of things. You mentioned eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is one of my favorite smells. And I think for so many people, myself included for a long time, you are drawn to essential oils based on the smell, but do you actually or do we actually know what are the behind the scenes benefits that this aroma is actually doing for you? And in my I do Reiki practicing here as well, and I incorporate aromatherapy, and so I allow people to choose an essential oil to roll on them for their experience. And it's interesting because the based on the essential oils that they are picking, the experience is different, and I swear by this. It's these things are magical. The properties, the things that they can do are magical. So share with us. I don't even know like the accurate question to ask here. What is aromatherapy? I guess like I'm trying to start very basic for listeners.
You know, it's a big, like we could spend hours and talking about this, but really like what you just touched on there is that the oils come from aromatic plants, and we obtain these oils through distillation, the distillation process. And from there, we are making the invisible, such as scent, visible. So we're
Mm-hmm.
taking something incredibly intangible and making it kind of concrete. And the thing that's really special about it is like scent is ephemeral, but it's a chemo sense. Everything we're doing here is chemistry. So you could talk about pheromones and stuff. That's kind of like essential oils. We're talking really about chemosensory information interacting with our mind, body, spirit. So many people hear about essential oils kind of often through a physical way, like headache, aches and pains, good for respiration, help you get over a cold. There's that physical gateway, which is true because the aromatic plants produce these oils. So best we think, because we're not the plant, right? We don't know. They're incredibly antimicrobial agents. So plant produces these chemicals in response to its environment. So something comes and like bites a leaf, what happens? I might get an infection. So we harness that as humans, and we take this concentrated form through distillation. They're also really wound healing, help promote tissue regeneration, great for skin health in minute amounts. But going into sensuality, the bridge is that essential oils are mind-body connectors because they're chemosensory. So when we smell an oil, a lot happens. We have scent recognition, working with memory retention, memory formation, going back to memory, bringing memories back. So let's say you're working with someone going through a loss with a loved one. And let's say I'm pulling this out of it's like tobacco reminds you of grandpa. You lost grandpa. You can work with a tobacco absolute. There's no essential oil for tobacco. It's a solvent extract, but that's a different topic. So someone could smell tobacco absolute and feel comfort and then feel good. So that's one thing, is the memory. There's the liking and disliking, which is super powerful. Just like, I love the way this smells. Oh my gosh, powerful, because that's changing your chemistry. But deeper, when we smell an oil, there's much happening. You're touching your limbic system, your kind of subprimordial brain, your amygdala, your hippocampus, reaching to the hypothalamus. And that's the reptilian type. It's an old brain. It's the emotions. It's the sensuality, the anger. And it's touching there through the olfactory bulbs, 2 synapses away from cortical tissue. And I'm almost done here. When you're smelling this, you are breathing the molecules in. They're so small, they can go into our lungs, into our bloodstream. And some of these molecules are so small, they can penetrate the blood-brain barrier, and we could start docking on receptor sites, such as serotonin, GABA, oxytocin, more. So I just shared a lot. And that's what's happening. And the core I really want to share and remind us is that it's chemical information. It's crazy.
A lot of science, really, right? Like that was a very in-depth explanation and also very helpful, because the first thing, well, the not like of the smell, but when you said tapping into that sensory, that memory, this comes up a lot in my space of work, right? Like when I'm working with couples, I tell them, pick your sexy scent, pick your scent that when you smell this, when that essential oil is going, or that candle is going, that incense is going, like it's turning on your sex switch. That is your sign, right? Like your trigger for that. And I think that, and I'm sure we can get into some essential oils that will help support something like that. But and then I'm just thinking, like with my clients that I'm helping work through traumas and things like that, to bring essential oils and scent. And I've always been told too that scent is your most powerful of all of your senses, because it has the ability to do that. I had an EFT practitioner on the podcast a few weeks ago, and she's like, if I say lunchroom cafeteria, immediately a smell is going to come to your mind. And she's like, it might not be the most pleasant of smells, but immediately you have a smell that comes to your mind. I'm like, wow, you're right. Like you can say it, smell a thing, and immediately you're back into that memory, that moment in time. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's because scent is, I like to say it's directional, because it takes you to a place like a cafeteria or a memory, including a place, but also like of being with somebody, like the memory of a person. And I want to share something that might have come up in your practice and with other people, is what you're touching on is I've borrowed this from hypnotherapists. When we work with oils, we're working with scent anchors. We're working with sensory chemical anchors. So like you with your couples, you create an anchor for them to say, this is now the time to do this. When you touch this, if it's
Mm-hmm.
trauma work, you have this cue to smell and say, this is time to do this now. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not Pavlov's dog. It's not like that. Um, but I just wanted to bring up the word anchor because I think it's powerful for people to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so helpful for people that, might be dealing with depression or anxiety and experience triggers through life to be able to, you see necklaces and bracelets that you can put your essential oils in and just be able to have access to that, if you are experiencing a trigger and to be able to lift your wrist and smell a necklace or something like that. I've seen people also just like rub essential oils in their hands and hoof them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, and these are things that are so tangible and also I would say cost effective too for the most part when it comes to essential oils. So and much safer over time than pharmaceutical medications and things that Western medicine will tell you to do, which
Yeah.
we should probably mention what anybody Western medicine focus is probably rolling their eyes at our conversation right now so far.
Well, on that note, we can support each other. So you could go and have traditional therapies, and then you could have the add-on of essential oils. And then you, as the client, the individual, can make your own decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, these are very powerful.
Mm, yeah. So
Yeah.
how would you, if we segue this into sensuality, if we're talking about just an individual person and then we can move into couples, but if you're talking about an individual person that is, let's say a woman that is wanting to get more in tune with her femininity and embodying her feminine and experiencing pleasure solo, what sort of
Mhm.
essential oils and how can essential oils help her accomplish something like that?
Yeah, before we even dive into that, I want to say don't even think of putting them in a lube, et cetera, et cetera. I would keep to olfaction, having it in the air or a body oil, body
Mhm.
massage, not internal. Like, don't
Mhm.
put it in your vaginal canal. Don't put the oils there,
Yeah,
please,
yeah.
unless you have direction. But I want to latch onto the embodiment part
Mm.
that you said, because we have to get out of the mental, right? We don't want to think about peppermint and rosemary unless that turns you on.
Mhm.
Like that's something that works for you and has a memory and a good association. Like, yeah, go for it. But a
Mhm.
lot of us, I think, in our crazy society are on thinking of something else and we're not embodied. We're not thinking of our body and loving our bodies. I think of me from since a kid, like, why is the body such a thing? And we learn to hate it or disassociate.
Yeah.
So we want those grounding oils and we want oils that balance us. And I want to just list a few and then get more into the meat. Because if I say ylang is good, is useful for flow and wateriness and languidness, but if you hate the scent, I
Mhm.
don't want you to go to ylang.
Yeah.
So you want to feel grounded and accepting and at peace so you can let your mind go so you're not thinking. So you want to sink in, and I'm thinking you go to vetiver, which has a lot of interesting applications with trauma as well. You want to go to patchouli to
Mhm.
get into your hips and get a good patchouli, not the bad ones that remind you of high school or college. You want to go to expensive stuff. This is rare, so it has to be treated very beautifully. You could go to Spikenard.
Mm.
It's if you have a very beautiful, and it's very beautiful. If you have a lot of money, you could turn to oud or agar wood. Very centering, very present, very calming. You could go into the florals. You could start going into the jasmines, the ylang, which is more accessible. Rose, of course, is the universal self-love compassion. Rose starts to go into the balancing. It's a balancing oil. You could start to go into geranium, balancing, modulating. Palmarosa, it's a relative to lemongrass. If folks that might not know that one, similar to geranium, balance, self-love, compassion. I find Palmarosa and geranium, like it's that like self-love. It gets your solar plexus a little bit right below the heart as well. And then one more was on my mind. There's more,
Hmm.
like a little zest. You can get into the warming cardamom and ginger for some grounding. And someone needed to say hello. Let me just pause. Oh, it'll come to me. But I listed a bunch. Oh, clary sage. If
Mm,
you're looking for euphoria, this is maybe when you're already turned on. Like clary sage can bring states of euphoria. I've seen it. And one that's hard to find that you can find as the herb is Damiana.
mm.
That is like an ignition for sexuality. So I just rattled off a bunch, and I hope that was
Just taking notes on the clary sage and euphoria.
yeah. And the Damiana, it's hard to find, but you could even think of the tincture or making a tea. But I think a tincture is easier for people to incorporate into their lives.
Hmm. And do
I think
you have recommendations? You hear about essential oils being ethically sourced and things like that. So where do you recommend that people find essential oils, or, either a website or a company or anything like that that you feel confident in?
so. That is a tough question for me because I do not advocate brands, and I don't go down that road. I
Hmm.
can share just a few. Like I'm staring at right here, I have Florihana that's based in France. They have an arm called, it's also Pranarome. They have an arm in the United States. Um, Basically, don't go to Etsy. Do not go to Amazon. If
Hmm.
you're really getting into I acknowledge this might sound snotty, okay?
Hmm.
But do not get your oils at Walmart. Do not get your oils from the drugstore. If you're really looking at the therapy, like the oils that might be sourced from a small farm,
Hmm.
like the stuff you can smell when you smell the oil, you're like, wow, that has depth.
Hmm.
It's not flat.
Yeah.
So it's not about the brand. It's about, yeah, who's the supplier you can trust. And by the way, there's some folks that turn to Young Living and doTERRA and that model of a business, and their oils are perfectly wonderful.
Hmm.
They're perfectly fine. Another one that comes to mind that's, I think, based in Connecticut is Plant Therapy. I think they're family owned.
Mm.
There's so many, but if you start to look at and follow things, here's a shout out for my profession: the National Association for Holistic Aromatherapy, I'm a member; the Alliance of International Aromatherapists, I'm
Mm.
a member; and the New York State representative. Start to like notice what aromatherapists are doing
Hmm.
and go to those websites and see, and you'll get some clues about where to look.
Yeah.
Listen to, like, I could go on and on, but you'll find it. A challenge for people is, let's say you're like clary sage, hell yeah,
Hmm.
go and try to find a cheap one. And then let's say you go do plant therapy and buy one from there
Hmm.
and do a smell comparison
Yeah.
and see how you feel. Because to smell, it's the chemistry to get it in and working with your receptors. How is your body responding?
Hmm. Yeah.
Notice your moods and emotions. That's your answer.
Hmm. And you can tell I've made the mistake of buying off of Amazon and in the drugstore and things like that, early on in my essential oils. And now
Mm-hmm.
doTERRA is who I go with now, because yeah, you actually look at the ingredients that are in the essential oils, and then you see all these things. You're like, this is not actually what I want to be breathing. They add all these extra fillers and things in that. So yeah, thank you for answering so authentically, and I think that was really helpful. And I don't think anything came off offensive or anything like that. Like, stay away from Walmart, stay away from the drugstore. It's not a price thing. I mean, you could still go to Walmart, just don't get your essential oils from there.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Because you want medicine that's made with love. I mean, this is coming from a plant. You want that plant to, you can smell how it was treated. That sounds woo-woo to some people, but you could tell. And
Hmm.
you want that to support your sensuality. You want that good stuff.
Hmm. Yeah. And your body is your temple. Your body deserves the best. And whether you're ingesting something through smell or taste or whatever it is, that you deserve to have the best of the best for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I'm drinking an adaptogenic drink now. I'm like, yes, I need cooling and calm. I'm going to be good to myself.
I love it. So would you agree then? So somebody that is incorporating, a really good, solid self-pleasure practice where they are trying to, again, embody the feminine, trying to just feel into their body and feel what pleasure is, that having essential oils around them, either like we said, putting in the hands and sniffing before, if they have a diffuser or something like that. And you even said, using some of them as topical treatments, like rubbing on the arms or chest or things like that. You would agree then that this can definitely help somebody level up, is the word I'll use. This can really help them level up their sensuality practice and their self pleasure.
Oh yeah, and that's like so many layers of that. So amen. So diluted, of course, on the skin. So let's say you take a 1 ounce bottle of your favorite like body oil. Maybe you add like 1 ounce, about 10 drops of an essential oil blend, or 10 drops total of essential oil. But it's part of it's the self-care. And a lot of women, I don't have kids, but am I taking time for myself all the time? No, I just made a commitment to start taking like at least 2 baths a week. Like that's what you're doing. But it's about sinking in, spending the time and letting those molecules talk to you. And the thing is, when you smell them, apply them mindfully to your body. Maybe once a day you rub down it into your arms and into your body, legs, and let those molecules do the work. You're touching yourself. You're caring for your skin, which is your largest organ. You're taking the time to love yourself. And then you have this gorgeous molecules acting with your receptors to bring you to a certain state. And part of the getting to know the essential oils is their personalities. So I hope the few that I shared, you got a sense of like the grounding, up to euphoria. It's just like, what do I need to tap into? And the oils don't do the work for you. It's about paying attention to your response to them as well.
As you said, and yeah, it's like you can say, oh yeah, this lavender has all these benefits, but if you hate the smell of lavender, not going to work the same, correct? Right. your
you're
body
not gonna
rejection.
you're not gonna want it in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, you might get the physiological response, but it just won't be a good response for you. But yeah, you're leveling up your game when you're incorporating this layer of chemistry that we often poo-poo. And this is genuine, authentic plant botanical stuff. We're not talking chemical crap that disrupt our hormones. And I mean, come on. I didn't think we'd go down this road, if you don't mind. Like if you have PMS and you are just feeling crap, like you're not treating yourself well, the oils can kind of help you, and maybe they kind of change your direction.
Yeah.
Because they could help with cramping, irritability, and stuff like that, and nudge you in a direction of like, I need to pay attention to my body.
Yeah, absolutely. The company that I work for has a line of essential oils, and we used to carry one called Time to Go Flow. And I've used it for a while, and for cramping, just literally rolling it over my abdomen, like right over that sacral root area, and have felt relief. And even just like the cooling sensation of essential oils and so many of them on the skin is nice and enjoyable. And I wanted to ask too, kind of getting into like the couples aspect of things, essential oils are not gender biased, correct? I mean, it's men, women, like whoever is listening to this podcast, this attains to you.
Yeah. So I love my response to that is plants are for everybody. Flowers are for everybody. This whole thing of roses for women and ylang and jasmine are for women, and the other flowers, neroli. There's not that too many flowers of literal essential oils, but those are for men too. And like there is within each of us the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine. We have both inside of us.
Yes.
So we need to support. Women can be strong and soft, and so can men. So how do we support it? And that's why aromatherapy is beautiful, because it's a holistic practice. We're working with these concentrated chemicals to support holistically the mind, body, spirit. So, and I can connect with nature in this way and tap in. And for men, tapping into your emotions. And I never actually articulated this. Thank you for this conversation. Men benefit from the benefit of the oils, helping them maybe acknowledge an emotion. And women, I think we acknowledge our emotions. Are we acknowledging our bodies? Like embodiment.
Yeah.
always giving, right? And thank you for this, like articulating an
Absolutely.
insight that's been in there.
Yeah, this is the joy of podcasting. And you're right. When you think for a woman in that is experiencing emotion, so often we feel that emotion and then we go to our heads and we're trying to solution solve, right? Like what can I do to get rid of this? And then going back to the embodiment piece, feeling that emotion and embodying that emotion. If it's anger that's coming up for you, like having that sacred tantrum, screaming into a pillow, punching the pillow, like get on the floor, like you're having a temper tantrum like you did as a child, and like expressing that emotion.
Yeah, get it out. Yeah,
Or yeah,
feel it.
if you're feeling like very happy, very elated, what does that look like for you? You know, jumping around like one of those things that stand outside of like car sales place, right? Like just
Yeah,
flowing with life and not giving a fuck because that's what feels good to you in that moment to embody that emotion.
yeah.
And yeah, I'm glad that we touched on the men thing too, because they're taught to not express emotion and to keep everything locked in. And I think vulnerability in men is one of the sexiest things that they can express. And especially within partnerships to have both partners that feel safe to express vulnerably
Yeah.
is so powerful and so connective. So now I'm thinking the next, my husband and I, we try to weekly have deep, in-depth conversations with each other, not just surface level shit.
Mm.
And now I'm like, what essential oils can I start to diffuse in the background when we have these conversations? Like I'm feeling like very grounding essential oils, very just like safety essential oils is what I'm going to look into for this now, because why not?
I just think something that's you're touching on, if I may go into this, is
Mhm.
a safety comes to mind, like helichrysum, German chamomile, cedar woods, and the vetiver is always a good one. But with oh gosh, so much to share. Two things, like if you can have something with a male counterpart, we're talking like hetero,
Mm.
you know, hetero male, I'm a hetero female. If you can share this genuine aroma, this botanical with someone and they smile or
Mm.
you see them let go, that is the biggest gift that you could give someone. So that's a man and a woman. We're both there tapping into like, oh,
Mhm.
wow. And then note, like, it's your responsibility to notice that and be like, wow, look at you smiling, or look how you just
Mhm.
let go. Like, that is so exciting. And that's sexual, that's
Mhm.
sensual. And for you and your husband, don't even think of diffusing. Maybe you select some oils. And one thing I love doing, this is my life, I have scent strips, but maybe you
Mhm.
put like a drop on a cotton pad or something and you have it with you or on you and really close to you, or
Mm.
smell each other's hands or something
Yeah.
to have that aroma for
Mm.
that connection.
Yeah, I like that. I also enjoy because I struggle with the science part of it and the mixing. So I prefer ones that are already done. So like roller ball forms and like that. So yeah, I think that those are easy, especially for people that are beginners with this. Go for
Yeah,
whatever is already made up for you.
it's true. There's a whole thing with blending.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah. So that's why we have experts like you for that
yeah,
to
I love
help us with
blending.
those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what have we not touched on in this conversation that you were just in terms of sensuality, sexuality that you were really hoping that we would cover, or do you feel complete?
I think it's complete. I just want a rundown of that, the grounding and the embodiment and oils that aren't overly excitable, because it is being in the body and present and not being distracted. You
Hmm.
want those calming, centering oils that make you feel
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that's it, because we could go on other things, and I just want to give a shout out. A couple years ago, there's the Museum of Sex here. I approached them like, can I give some workshops? And they said, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was fun interacting with the general public to do these like essential oil and sexuality workshops. And
Yeah.
we got men in there.
Oh yeah.
Essential oils just aren't for women, like we were
No,
saying.
so important. We visited the Museum of Sex years ago, and it was yeah, such a fun time. And I will never forget seeing the joy in my husband jumping in the inflatable boobs. room. That was so fun for me too, but it's just, yeah, that place was super, super fun. Um, yeah. So to end, what would be your, if somebody is wanting to start with essential oils for their sensuality, what would be your top three recommendation oils for them to look into or to start with?
Yeah, let's keep this simple. And again, if you hate patchouli, pardon me, but I
Mhm.
find patchouli to be incredibly
Mhm.
supportive of embodying Elan Elan, that just languid, watery. And Elan Elan is inexpensive.
Mhm.
Jasmine is kind of over the top. It's similar in quality. And I guess like on the fence, there's that euphoria of clary sage.
Mhm.
And then that Damiana, if you really want to kick in the butt and be like, yeah, let me just get all on top of you, that's Damiana or Damiana. But I'd say those four.
Okay. Perfect.
But Damiana is harder to find. So yeah, because it starts off and it's that crescendo, the ground with the patchouli, and then you put that layer on of the Elan Elan to like embody the sensuality, and then you uplift and bring in that spark with the clary sage of euphoria. So you could think
Mhm.
about the layers there. So
Mm.
there's your sensual blend.
Yeah. And almost like your, I'm thinking of like the sexual response cycle, right? You have your desire,
Yeah.
your arousal, you're heightening, you're hitting that plateau and then
Mhm.
climax. Yeah. So incorporating each of those
Yeah.
at each of those levels,
Yeah.
could be really fun.
Beautifully said. I love that.
When
Yeah.
you say Elan, is it spelled Ylang?
Yeah. Ylang. Yeah.
I was today's years old when I learned that's how you pronounce that. I've always said Lang Lang.
It's fine. And I just want to give a shout out. I have an article about Elan Elan on my website. I have an article and a video about patchouli. I grow patchouli uh, and distill it every year. But
Amazing. Yeah, please
yeah,
share with us social media, website, any programs or offerings that you have. How do you prefer that people connect with you or find you?
thank you. So please go to nycaromatic.com
Mhm.
and you'll see I have many online courses to if you want to learn about aromatherapy and application. I have videos if you really want to like I call them plant talk to deep dive with the plant, and I give
Mhm.
blending ideas. You'll see, but I have a lot of information on there because I'm educational. I'm
Yeah,
a practitioner and I'm an educator. So
perfect. Yeah, and we'll make sure to link that in the show notes for people to easily find. And are you on social media at all that you prefer to share?
sure, thank you. I'm an old timer, so I stick to Instagram at nycaromatica.com. NYC Aromatica.
Perfect. Make sure to give you a follow as well. And Instagram is not for old timers. I think Instagram is for all ages, really.
You, I don't have a TikTok account. I'm like, I can't manage more than how much social media.
That's okay. Yeah, it's they're all their own beasts and then of themselves. So, well, thank you again so much, Amy. This was a wonderful conversation. I appreciate you coming on and sharing all this knowledge with us. And I'm sure I know my listeners pretty well. I'm sure that there's some people that were definitely inspired by our conversation today. So thank you so much for all that you do.
Thanks, Rachel. This has been a real pleasure. I love talking about sex and sexuality.
Yes. And essential oils.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening to today's show. If you loved it, be sure to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And if you really fucking loved it, make sure to tag me on social media at the Rachel Main. I'll see you next week.